Hey guys, welcome to another review. I'm Zoo, this is my dad.
How y'all doing?
Today we're reviewing Poetic, released in 1993. I'm doing the story today, Boom.
Okay, that's cool.
The story is about two young people who goes on a road trip and fall in love with each other, while also dealing with the problems in their personal lives.
Yes.
Dad, what do you think of the story?
Well, you
Movie.
know, well, you know, I love it. I loved it since I was a kid. That's one of the reasons I wanted you to watch it. This is your first time watching it, so you know, I really wanted to hear your opinion on it. So, but like I said, it's a good movie. What do you think about the movie?
It's a good movie. My bad, not good. It's a great movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like the characters. I like the dilemmas and how it pushed them forward.
It shows like stuff you see in your everyday life.
I like the shots. Yeah, actually reminds me of something. And it's just a great movie.
Okay. So, you gonna start the characters or you want me to start?
I can start the character.
Okay.
We can start with Justice.
Okay.
She is a hairdresser, right?
Yes.
And recently, I don't know how long ago, since they never tell us, her boyfriend got killed. So she's still in her, mourning.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to, I guess, she does poetry, since one, she likes it, and two, I think it's a way for her to express her emotions, in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, but you can see she tries to have fun, but you see she's still hurt inside.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically it. And
yeah, I like Justice because she reminds me of like regular everyday women that I see.
mm-hmm.
She's yeah, like you said, she's going through some stuff, but you can tell she tried to be strong on the outside. She put up a strong exterior.
Strong.
Mm-hmm. And but I think she's a nice person. She's thoughtful.
Definitely.
Yeah, she's not a selfish person. She has, well, I guess like you said, she's going through stuff, so she has a little attitude problem at times. But all in all, I think without her going through her little dilemmas and stuff, she's a good person.
I want to say one thing. She has her times where she's funny.
Yeah,
she has her times where she's funny.
Yeah, she's funny.
You want to go to the next character, or you want me to go to my next one?
Oh, you want to do another character? Go ahead.
No, you can go to another one.
No, go ahead.
My next character is a minor character, but she's great. Miss Booty.
Oh,
with an E.
Yeah, what's her? Jess.
Jess is her name.
She owned the
hair salon where Jess before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I just remember seeing on her thing.
On her tags. Yeah.
I can't get her name. Miss Booty.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll stick with it. Miss Booty, she's an interesting character. She has her moments where she can be a jerk,
Mm-hmm.
because she didn't understand the situation. But she also is showing that
go.
But it's also showing she cares about her people,
mm-hmm.
all of them, and she goes to great lengths to be there for them.
Yeah.
And the characters bring them up themselves. Is that how you pronounce it?
What?
The characters bring them up themselves. Right.
Bring what up?
That her Justice relationship is more like a mother figure.
That's what I was about to say. She's like a mother to the whole shop.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I mean, you see, because
she tries to keep the peace.
Definitely keep this peace. She stirs up a little stuff too, though.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I say she's like a mother to the shop, because one of the male hairdressers, he's going through something, and she's there to support him.
Mm-hmm.
She always trying to support Justice, get justice out of her little funk that she's going through.
Like a good
try to
figure.
Like you got to move on. But then sometimes I think she's a little too inconsiderate. Mm-hmm. Like when she told me you got to move on, man's like I said, underwear, something wear, then you toss it out or something.
No, it's old too.
She's like, oh what?
Old tool. You can use it and stuff, but then when it serves its purpose, just put it back in the toolbox.
Yeah, but I'm like, Justice going through something different. He got
murder.
Yeah, so it's not like they broke up and something. But she's a good lady.
I would say she has her faults, but she's also very.
She's like an average human.
And even when she makes her mistakes, you see later that she fixes them.
Because I don't really know if she made mistakes. She was telling Justice the truth. I mean, she was a little harsh about how she was telling her.
There's
but she
one
was telling
scene that
her
I
the truth.
count as her mistake.
What?
But I'll explain that later.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it. But okay.
Who's your next?
You have anything else to say about her?
What's the name?
Chicago. Chicago is a
pig, racist, not racist. He's a rat.
Chicago is a insecure type of person. He's one of them people that try to hide his insecurities with like clothing and materialistic stuff. Yeah, he's funny. Now he's funny. He's a funny guy.
Yes,
but he just
a dick.
No, he just like I said, he just one of them sensitive.
His responses are
insecure
wrong.
Guys.
His responses are wrong.
Not all his responses, cause
not all of them, but the big ones. They're
but
wrong.
I'm just talking about. We'll get to him, but you said he is digging on it, but he just weird. He just weird.
He was in a.
We'll get to it later.
Right.
He just weird. Oh, say what you gotta say about him. My bad. I apologize.
Don't like him, dick jerk. He didn't respond. I understand the situation here, but he didn't respond to it the right way. There was a better way to handle it. I understand if you're immature. What's it called? You said what was he?
Sensitive.
Yes,
emotional.
sensitive. He's very sensitive, but
insecure.
Insecure. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. I don't care. He could have handled it a lot better than what he's.
I definitely wouldn't have handled none of the situations that he handled the way he handled, and it probably wouldn't have led to the situation that you talking about. But
exactly.
Who's your next character?
Justice's best friend. I don't know.
Isha.
Mm-hmm. Isha, she's a cool character. She has her problems, but she also has those moments where you can see that. I don't know if that was her talking at the time, or she really meant it. Where she really acknowledged she has a problem, since she know. And she always tries to be there for Justice. Even when she makes her mistakes, she tries to go back and apologize. They're tight and stuff. So, she's human.
I mean, all of them human.
But I'm saying, her, how she acts, it reminds me. I mean, all of them, but her especially, since I met people like that.
Oh, okay. Are you done with her?
Anyway.
Yeah, well, I don't know what movie he was watching. She's a piece of shit. She's a fucking whore.
Never.
Hey, you finished talking. It's my turn. She's a damn scumbag. Yeah, she might be cool with Justice, but Justice also has benefits that I think that she like. I mean, because Justice is very supportive, therefore, like that problem you talking about she had, Justice always there to be the one that had to be the regular one and look out for the crew. Yeah, I mean, but she cool to a certain extent, but she a vicious. You talking about Chicago? she worse than him. But that's all I gotta say about her.
I've never cared.
You had something to say about her?
No, I'm already finished. I'm going to my next character.
Oh, okay.
My next character is Lucky.
Okay.
I'll let you actually talk on Lucky, then I'll go.
Nah, you go.
I like Lucky. He's a good character. He cares about his daughter. It's clear he's trying to find a better, life for her.
Mm-hmm.
And he listens to his mom when she says he needs to, what did she say, like mature? Or just make better job or something like that.
Just do
more grown ups.
Be more mature. Basically.
And he cares about people.
Mm-hmm.
And when he knows something's wrong, he's gonna step in. He's just a good character.
Yeah, you basically cover Lucky. Lucky a good character. I mean, I definitely understand everything he was with, but you know, some people wouldn't. They had wanted him because you said that step in a little more at times, or tone it down at times.
When did you need to tone it down?
We'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, definitely what you said. He a father, a good father. He don't want his daughter going through none of the pitfalls and stuff that's out there in the community that she's growing up in. Her household, but
one striking.
Yeah.
She was out there like he promised.
But I mean, probably was multiple strikes, but that was probably the last one. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about Lucky.
The last one's the most important.
So, no more characters.
Now to your scenes. You can begin.
Opening scene. We mentioned it already, basically. But
you can go more detail now.
When Justice and her boyfriend Markel is at the drive-through movie theater, and he trying to have sex with her and stuff, and she like, nah.
Tell me why you love me.
Yeah, why you love me? And he's like, man, cause you got the. He was playing though, but he's talking about her, cause she fine and she look good and all that. And then she was like, oh, nah, that's the only reason you like me? And then she was like, well, I want some candy or something. Go to the...
Go get popcorn.
And all that stuff.
Juju beads.
Yeah.
And bonbons.
And so when he was about to leave, he came back. And he told the real reason that, you know, that he loved her and all that. Because she used to write him all them nice poems when he was in the jail. You know, he said that kept him up. So when he said that, she was happy. Like, she really felt that he loved her. It wasn't about her looks and stuff.
Did he said that?
Yeah, but when he went to the, oh, you missed that part? But yeah, when he went to the, concession stand, he must have been in the mall or something a week ago, a couple of days ago, because two dudes seen him.
It was a week ago.
Oh yeah, two dudes seen him, and they was like, one of the dudes was like, man, hey,
it's that dude.
Look, that's that dude that was talking all that stuff in front of his homeboys acting tough. But the other one was playing the video game. He was like, nah, that ain't him. He really ain't want to do nothing. But the main guy was pressing the issue. He kept saying, nah, that's him. I'm telling you, son, that's him. And you could see in his face that, yeah, he wanted to take it to the next level. So he see them too, but he acting like he don't see them. So then he got the stuff she wanted, went back to the car. When he went to the car, she had her shirt like unbuttoned. So I guess once he got in the car, they was going to wind up having sex or whatever. But when he was getting in the back of the car,
they came in.
All you see is her eyes getting big, like, and not in a good way.
And his head became a donut.
Yeah, all you seen is blood flew all on her. You heard the shot. Blood flew all on the window. Bus speaker flew out the window, blew out and all that. So yeah, then you just see their feet running off. So obviously, I guess the two guys came over there and
pressed their issue.
Yes, killed that man. Sad to say, but and then from there it goes on, and she's telling one of her poems, but it's showing like different scenes, like a montage, I guess, of different scenes. It's showing the police harassing like some black and Mexican guys. Then it show, I guess, people just walking on the street looking like they off drugs or whatever, and she's driving to work. And then what happened after that?
That goes to my scene.
Oh, okay.
When Justice and Lucky first meet.
Yeah.
So she gets to work, right?
And
what's the best friend's name?
Aisha, whatever.
Aisha. That's how I'm gonna say. Was sitting down right on.
She just finished doing her hair, I think.
No, doing someone else's hair.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, come on, girl. She was saying to me, she's like, come on, go down. I'll go take your hair. And then that's when my character shows up as the booty with the E. She tells one of the homeless people up front to step off.
Yeah.
And she goes inside. Right? She starts talking to her friends. The people work there. They're having a conversation. And then Lucky shows up, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, after she says, "Listen, there's a man, who's everything I want," and then he pulls up.
Yeah.
Like a sign from God.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically comes in, right? He's like for I guess the shop.
Yeah, he had to deliver the mail and see if they had some.
Oh yeah,
he
said all of these are bills.
Yeah.
And then he's
nothing but bills. Yeah. And you see, she looked at his nails; they're dirty.
Mm. Oh, that's the first time she brings up.
I don't know if she said nothing, but you can see.
It's the first time
she looked at his hands.
It's the first time she knows.
Yeah, definitely the first time she noticed.
So he starts flirting with her, right?
Yeah.
And what did she say? Oh, you want some food?
No, he was like, why you always looking angry?
Yeah.
Said, you must ain't got a man because you don't never smile. And she said, what I got to smile about? And then, what'd he say? He said, you fly. I think you fly. I would like to get your phone number. And she was like, oh, you want my number? Then she said, now, come on, what you really, really want from me? Then she said, you want to smell my punani? And he looked at her like, yeah. And she said, hold on for a minute, baby. And called your girl booty. And it was like, this young fine bro said he want to smell my punani. She said, for real? He said, yeah. Should I let him? She said, yeah. And then blew in his face. That nigga said, you need some breath messages. Funky ass. Dirty black bitches.
And he does better than Booty and gives the money to the homeless guy.
Oh yeah, he got her. She said, "Get your ass out of here." Mm-hmm. And then when he went outside, cause remember when he first came in, the homeless dude was like, "Give me some change." He said, "Man, get your ass."
He said,
"Why don't you get a?"
He said, "Here's some stamps to mail the application." So you get
no, he told him. He said, "I'm gonna give you a job application" when he first came in. But when he came out, he said he was about to not give him the change. But then he said, "It's a change and a stamp for the application."
And with all that, he
yeah.
And that's basically it. You can go to your next scene.
Oh yeah, my scene. It's when Chicago and him at work, and they playing dots, and the Mexican guy right there, and him and Chicago talk about Chicago mad because they passed him up. He still got to be the dude that put the mail in the slots. He wanted to be like Lucky, deliver the mail. But they passed him. He said, yeah, they put 2 Buddha heads in front of me, man. Got me out here sorting. Yeah, he's the mail sorter. Sorting mail with these Mexicans. And then the Mexican dude said, man, hey, Chicago, why you always got to say something about Mexicans? And he's like, man, son, we got our own country. He said, what the hell y'all keep sneaking out? Or something like crazy like that. But the Mexican dude went on him. But anyway, yeah. That's when him and Chicago got together, and they were saying they was going to Oakland. And then he was like, yeah, you gonna bring a girl? He said, you got a yamp? And he was like, nah, you got a yamp? He said, why don't you get that crazy hoe you messing with to hook me up with one of her buddies? He said, I'm on it. He said, man, you ain't knowing nothing. And Chicago was brushing his head. But then they leave and go to, because he left.
And this goes to my next scene.
Oh, yeah.
And Lucky's basically going to visit his daughter, right?
Yeah.
At the mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to meet with his friend, right?
Bone.
Yeah. And Bone's like, what's up, Lucky? You want some of this? And he's like, nah, they're checking the pee and stuff.
Yeah, he said they got yours.
He's like, terrible thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And he's like, oh, there's my neighbor girl. And the lady, he's like, hey, miss, what's your name? And she puts some middle finger.
She was like, hey, miss, what do you say, Robinson or something?
I remember.
Miss Jackson. He's like, how you doing, Miss Jackson? She looked, said, man, fuck you. I don't fuck with you. I told you she did that because, he be hustling in the neighborhood, and she don't like that, the kids around and shit.
And here's something you brought up to me that I didn't know. Apparently, the mom met with Bones and had his son. And so, basically, his daughter's brother.
Yeah, Lucky daughter is Bone's son's sister. Yeah, they got the same baby mother. And I'm pretty sure already
Lucky and Bone was tight. Or that made them tight. Either one.
No, they probably was tight before that.
And basically, he's like, I'm just coming here to visit. And I think he said that before he came in the door. He said, if she has any what's it called?
He said, like, yeah, I don't know what you worrying about. No, he said, I gotta go get her some shoes. And he's like, man, you know, I take her to the Compton Swap Meet, get her anything she want. He's like, man, that's my daughter. He said, yeah, but she called me daddy sometimes anyway. He said, man, she call you daddy sometimes. We about to see. He said, we about to see then. And that's when they went upstairs to the apartment. And he was lucky. He was like, who's your daddy? And she was like, you are. He said, I told you. He said, that's my daughter and that's your son. Don't you forget it.
I also found it funny because they basically sat down and started watching cartoons, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when he said, is she doing any like drugs and stuff in there around his daughter? He's taking her.
Yeah, because she came out the jump and she came out the back.
She didn't come out yet.
I thought she came out and said something.
No.
And he's like, man, what you all nervous for?
No,
you basing?
She came out after Bone left. But Bones was sitting down.
No, she came before Bone left. Remember, he was like this, she was like, oh, man, you need to get her and go get her some shoes. He was like, man, what you all fidgety for? Because she was looking about it on the table she was looking for the stem, but it was all in the candy. She couldn't find it. He said, you all nervous? What you basing? She said, nigga, I ain't doing nothing. Don't worry about what I'm doing. You take her, get her some shoes, and you get the hell out of it. And Bone was like, man, nah, she all right. And that's when the dude called Bone. Mm-hmm. And that's when Bone left out. And she went back in the room, and she was like, slammed the door, and she had the guy back there. But go ahead.
It killed me what Bone said, though.
What?
Every time I want to sit down and watch a cartoon. And someone's wants to
keep calling me, yeah.
And basically, he looks through the candy, right? Yeah. And he finds it.
The stem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's what she was looking for.
I think he was about to eat a piece of candy and then he found it.
No, he was just, because remember he was drinking a beer and he was just daydreaming, I guess. He was just,
or just looking.
Yeah, you know how you just sometimes just be thinking. He was just looking.
And he found it. He's like, I think he did like, oh.
He picked it up and went in there about to say something to her.
And then she had a guy back there, like you said.
Yeah, he's like, man, you ain't tricking with my daughter out in the living room? And the dude was like, who the fuck is this dude?
And he's like, no, I'm leaving. And he grabs, did he pick up the door yet? Or is he?
No, he's like, man, I'm taking my daughter, we out of here.
And then she started saying, no, right? And then the guy basically tried to fight Lucky.
Yeah, he followed him in the living room.
And then this is why I think Bone is a good friend to Lucky. Because when Bone hears him, he's like, oh. And then he runs back up.
Bone heard him arguing, him and her arguing. That's when he came back up.
And then he sees this guy trying to fight Lucky, and then he gets in there and they start whooping.
Yeah, that's why Lucky was talking to her. The dude stole him from behind. And then Bone came in there, and they jumped the dude.
I like that, though.
Yeah.
Just came up there and immediately started helping.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, like, Lucky grabbed his door. What's the door's name? Keisha.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, out. You said this to me. They're arguing like they're children. The father and Lucky, and the mother and Lucky.
Yeah.
Her jumping up and down on the roof.
Oh yeah. And he was going all crazy. Yeah, it's so funny.
And basically, he leaves to his mom's house.
Cause what Justice, like she's saying something.
Yeah.
Why they arguing?
No, after this.
I'm talking about why they arguing from the porch and the balcony. Mm-hmm. You could barely hear them talking, but she talking over them
with one of her
poems. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I keep forgetting it, but it's important to that scene.
All right, what's your next scene?
So after that, remember when Lucky asked Chicago about hooking him up, Chicago talked to Isha.
It's a girl.
Yeah, because remember he called her like, man, tell your buddy to go with us. And she tried to ask Justice. And Justice was like, nah, I ain't going on no, because she didn't know what a run was. But she was like, I ain't going. But then anyway, the next day, I guess she was in there. And remember she came out, was about to go to work or whatever. Because they had to go to Oakland for a head show anyway. And she was going to drive her, but her car wouldn't start. So she called Isha. And Isha and them came over there, and the whole time, it was Lucky. Yeah.
Or if you're looking from Lucky's story, it was
Justice. He was like, man, that's that crazy hoe that working. He's like, I know that crazy hoe. And Chicago was like, man, you don't know her. He's like, yeah, she work at the hair salon on whatever street. He's like, oh yeah. And he's like, man, this is about to be crazy. And then she was basically saying the same thing to Isha.
That's that crazy delivery, man.
Huh? That's it. trying to Mac. He said that's that little delivery man. He was trying to Mac with me and all that.
Oh, I guess she's gonna say.
She's like, and Isha was like, Lucky cool. Remember, she was like, he cool. And then,
I think she actually, genuinely messed with him.
Yeah, she knew Lucky. She thought Lucky was cool.
But when they get in, right? I was gonna
go.
And they what you call Chicago and then Isha get in the back.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, Jay, you sit up here.
Did they start arguing when they was driving out the city or when they was more on the countryside?
Well, they was Lucky he was like,
oh, he was trying to start
up. He was trying to be cool. He was like,
trying to start conversation.
Yeah, put the seatbelt on. We pay attention to all laws and traffic stuff and all that stuff. And as they was driving, he was asking her questions. And she was giving them one word answers or basically, ignoring them.
And he gets mad.
And he started getting frustrated.
Because he's just trying to, spark up a conversation, as he said.
And then he said, oh, you one of them angry bitches, huh? Mm-hmm. And she said, what? What you say to me? He said, I said, you a mean bitch. And then he was like, man, I'm trying to be generous, spark up conversation. You acting all uppity or whatever.
No, he didn't say uppity.
Huh?
He just said uppity.
Yeah, she was like, man, I'm a black woman.
Don't call me.
Give me my respect. Mm-hmm. If I'm a bitch, your mom a bitch.
I love he said. He said, don't bring my mom in this.
No, he broke all that down though. He said, yeah, say that black woman shit, but you bleed once a month like the rest of the hoes. And we ain't talking about my mom. We talking about your tramp ass. So he answered every yamp or whatever. He answered every question though. Mm-hmm.
He broke it down to a 4-part thing.
And then he was basically like, she's like, man. He's like, man,
get out.
No, he said, man, what you gonna do? She was like, no, she said, pull this motherfucker over. He said, what you gonna do? She said, I walk. He said, well, get the fuck out there. Do them fat ass thighs some justice. And so she got out, but while they was arguing, Isha started waking up.
And she got
yeah.
She said, turn this thing around.
And he had already pulled off. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you can't leave her out here. Turn around. Chicago, he's leaving with my friend. You can't do this.
And I think she convinced Chicago to convince him to turn around.
She basically convinced him. He know he was. I mean, I don't know if he was wrong, but he knew
he would take it low.
I mean,
what's the point of?
He couldn't do that. He couldn't leave that woman like that. Yeah, that would have been terrible.
And basically, they turn around, right, and she gets in.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my next scene. So this is about a few scenes ahead, right?
What?
And so they're on the road, and they're all like, "You smell that?" Right?
Yeah.
And the two guys say, "What it is? It's barbecue." And then you see just a giant sign saying like the Johnson's family reunion.
No, but I don't want to cut you off before you get to that. This is the other thing. See, this is when remember you was talking about Isha good and Chicago bad, and I was like Chicago did some bad things when they went to get gas, and remember Justice and because they had switched seats once they argued, and she got back in the car. She got in the back with Isha, and Chicago sat up front with Lucky. Mm-hmm. But when they went in there to get the, she was like, he was like, give me a beer, and she was like, she was gonna get her some drink, and he wanted some Cheetos too. Remember they talking? She talking to Justice in the store, talking about, oh yeah, he's sweet, you know. He a 2-minute brother. He can't hang. I don't even be having to fuck him that much. I be rationing it to him. Yeah. And then she was like, man, he be giving me money and all that. And you know he lying when he starts stuttering. And he out there talking to Tupac. And Tupac like, you be giving that whole money. And he like, see. And he starting to stutter. He said, man, that's my girl. We wanting to look up. He said, man, oh my nigga, you getting played. And with Lucky was like, you getting played, you sweet. But then, that's what I was saying. Like, she was using him. And he was really liking her. But go ahead, and then I'm going to get into some more stuff as we get later.
She didn't do that wrong. She was wrong for that.
I'm going to get into some more stuff good later. But go ahead to your reunion part when they got to the Johnson.
And so basically, I like that the two of them were on their same wavelength. They're like, what? And the woman was like, what?
Yeah.
And so the rest like, let's pull over, like, pretend we're like, extended family or something like that. Get some food. And how? And you can see that actually, like, I think at least Lucky and what's it called?
Chicago.
No, Justice are enjoying themselves. You know, she's playing with the children. He's having fun talking to like the
older people
playing the games.
Playing the cards.
I think they actually felt like they.
Yeah, they was cool.
But the other two weren't. You know.
I mean, coming in, they was Chicago. All of them was having fun. I think at the
but
time.
then they went Chicago and you just said her name.
Isha.
This is bad. You just said her name. I forgot. Isha. They're talking. They're hanging out right now, and they hang out with three older women. They're like, who are y'all two? Like, are y'all married and stuff? She's like, yeah.
I was Maya Angelou and April, May, and June. That was their name. They were sisters.
Aunt April, May, and June. The calendar sisters.
Yeah.
And they basically asked a question like, when y'all get married? They look at the hand. She was quick to put it back on the table.
Because she ain't had no ring.
And she said, I don't wear it all the time.
And he's like, yo, husband don't make you wear his ring. He don't mind. She said, because they was asking him. And like, he's a man. He can speak for himself.
My bad. You didn't establish this earlier at the gas station. She basically, pulls the strings. And he just follows.
Yeah, he's sweet.
No, I'm saying you didn't bring it up since this scene basically just follows up on that.
Mm.
Yeah, so she pulls the strings, he follows. Anyway, they get someone, right? She gets drunk, right?
Mm.
And then she starts telling the guy, and Justice like, already see how this about to go.
Yeah.
She's like, what you doing? Like, and stuff. She's like, just leave me alone and stuff,
Yeah, I'm just talking, Jay, and all that. Talking to the dude.
And then Chicago sees it, he's like, and she's like, no, Chicago, she didn't mean it and stuff, right?
Man.
And when she, Lucky sees this about to be this big thing, he's like, hey, do you think I could pack like some food for the go? I think if they have their family reunion, he's gonna.
Nah, they just showing you see, you younger.
Oh no,
so they don't do family reunions like they used to. But that's how people do. Might pull up, man. Be so many people, they don't know who you are. Come get a meal.
Could just say I'm like a cousin.
Yeah, you see, it's like Johnson and all that.
And you see that there's a bunch of people who basically fill the entire park.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy enough just to slip in and say, I'm going to send a family when it's dropping.
Yeah, you ain't even got talking about, hey, what's up? Slide through.
You just might have to say, hey, grab some food. I don't know.
But go ahead.
And basically, they started seeing, he's like, okay, go. And he basically dragged Chicago to
the
mail truck.
Mail truck, yeah.
And they get in, right? And they basically start having an argument.
Her and Chicago.
And did I mention that during this it shows that Lucky and Justice are getting closer,
Yeah, because while he was going to get his plates and stuff,
he made her a plate for one. He sat down and they had a conversation, right?
Yeah, he was rapping, so it was cool for a minute, and then he said, "What kind of dudes you mess with?
Gangster,
pharmacists, street pharmacists." He said, "I knew you was that type." She's like, "This motherfucker, you don't know nothing about. You can't even keep your damn nails clean." And he looked at the nails.
Oh yeah, that's a running thing in this. Her always bring up the nails.
Yeah.
This leads my next thing. So they basically have an argument, but I like how this puts them in an opportunity where they're looking at each other. So they can't really say nothing or do nothing. They just have to let it happen.
Yeah.
And they're in an argument like, why are you cheating? Why are you doing that? And she's like, I don't you're not my boyfriend or something like that. And they basically just have a little argument.
Yeah.
And I think they stopped at is that when they stop on the side of the road, like near a gas station, and she runs out.
Cause is that when he was like?
No, that's the first argument. And they get out, right? Mm-hmm. And she starts throwing up, so she had so much and no food.
Cause Justice like, man, pull it. I want to talk to her.
She says some hurtful stuff to Justice, and then she immediately starts crying and apologizing.
No, cause when they pulled over, she was like, "What's up, Jay? Lucky fucking with you. You gonna make me fuck you up, you fuck." And she pulled her out the truck. Was like, man, see, that's why I don't like going nowhere with you. Cause you be acting just like my mother. Well, how my mother used to act when she was alive or whatever. When she took the drink and slammed it on the ground.
And basically they start crying, right?
Yeah, she's like, I'm sorry.
And she says, I know it's a problem. I know. She's like, I know, you need to fix it.
Yeah.
They basically have the crying thing, and then they go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And Lucky, does he have a conversation with
No, Chicago, like, yeah, man, about to get rid of that bitch, man. Something. Lucky was like, yeah. I mean, it's Lucky and him. Lucky was listening to his cousin music, but he was basically kind of agreeing with Chicago. Like, oh, man, I need it.
Wait, was he doing that thing where like you're speaking but you're focused on something else, or he's actually genuinely listening to Chicago?
I think he was listening to the music, but he was hearing Chicago enough where I think he was answering them. Like, he was with him, but he was still listening to the music. You know, he was multitasking, I think.
All right, and so they stop again. And I like it, the scene, because it basically goes through everyone's thought process. Lucky and what's her name? Justice are basically like, I like him.
Is that before the festival?
Yeah, that's before the festival.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, I like him and stuff, but should I talk to him? And
Cause she said something to him at the cookout, like, you probably got a kid somewhere.
Yeah.
He's like, why you say that? She said, you look like somebody that got kids somewhere. He said, yeah. He said, why you say? He said, what's the type? And she was like, this right here, walking in front of me. This is the type. But anyway, go
and he's
back
like,
to
should I tell her and stuff? Since he's like, I like her.
Yeah.
And then the other time, she's like, I'm gonna get rid of him. This is after we get back.
Oh, Isha, she's like, I'm gonna call
No,
Terry.
that's not yet. She's just like, I'm just gonna get rid of him, dump him, break up him.
No, in her head. You talking about when they all at like the beach? It looked like they had like a beach, and she said in her head, she said, "Oh yeah, I need to get my
nails done.
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call Terry with his fine ass
get
back, and so he can get him to take me shopping."
But she also said she's gonna break up with him, or is that later?
No, she said that out loud to Justice after they finished in the same scene, but they finished thinking.
I thought she also said that in her head, like when we get back with him.
No, she said, when we get back to LA, I'm dumping Chicago ass. And she said that to Justice while they was sitting back.
And you know the funny thing in Chicago said he's like, I can dump her. I can get another hoe.
He's I'm a good looking dude.
I have a car, fashion,
apartment.
I got
income coming in. I get it.
He said I'm set.
That bad one couldn't get no pussy. That nigga's a clown. Well, go ahead.
And this leads to the festival. I'll let you describe this since I've been talking a while.
No, I like when you talking. It'd be funny.
I want you to describe it.
Oh yeah, so when they get to the festival, like it's like the whole couple relationship stuff flip. How like early in the thing, Chicago and Isha was clicking, and Justice and Lucky one messing with each other. It's flipped now.
They're clicking and the rest of them are going.
Yeah. Now they complaining.
Having little fights.
Cause when they go to the festival, they get to connecting. Him and Justice get to opening up more to each other.
Oh, getting closer. And you see, I like to see whether both of them are saying slow down. They both intentionally.
Yeah, stop speeding up.
You pointed out to me, and I found it funny.
Yeah, he said, "What's happening, man? Doing all this walking."
And then they intentionally see them like, stop your complaining.
And then when he slid up on him, and him and her was listening to the music. And he was like, man, come on, man, why we doing all this stopping? He said, man, we do this all the time. And he was like,
I think he was
like, man, yeah, you just trying to get with this bitch. And then she was like, fuck you,
is
motherfucker.
Is this before he said the cousin music track? Or after? No, I think
that was
after this conversation, but still during at the carnival.
But no, that was before when he was like his cousin music trash. That's when after she threw up, and remember she came over there to try to apologize in Chicago, and he's like, man, get away from me. She was like, oh, and they started cheering. Remember her and Justice started cheering.
For the music.
Yeah, they was like just doing old cheers from when they was like little kids and shit.
Alright, I just want to know if that came.
Yeah, and he said something about his music.
Yeah, and he got mad.
Yeah.
Lucky got mad.
Yeah, Lucky was like, but then they went to the festival, and like you said,
you can go back to when you were. I just wanted to ask.
They was walking around, him and Justice. So when after he said that, that's when Justice and they basically got back in the truck. I mean, the scene went on a little bit, cause he was like, man, let's get the fuck out of here. Something you keep messing with. He said, man, I'm tired of your shit. Remember, Lucky said that to Chicago after he said that about Justice, and they both stepped off. But then they go to them in the truck, and she eating a plum, and she's like, you want to bite? He's like, nah, I don't want none of that dirty plum. You don't know what's been. And then the back, Isha in Chicago back then, he trying to make up with her. Because remember, they started having sex. And that's why I wanted you to get to telling this part, because this is would make you hate him the most, right?
No, this is the next part.
I'm talking about this leads into that part, right?
Alright, I'll describe. So they both have sex and he, I guess.
What?
Nutted her?
I mean, he just came fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure he nutted in her because I don't think he put no condom on. But go.
Oh, and she's like, and you know.
She was bored the whole time. Like
I'm surprised he didn't see in her face, but I guess he was just too focused on himself.
Yeah, he goofy.
Oh, he's more so.
Yeah, he flew. But anyway.
And she basically like, I forgot what she said to him, but she said something that upset him, right?
He's like, and she was like, man, you done already? And he was like, man, nah, just give me a minute. She was like, man, he always said, man, you weak. No, she was like, get off. He said, man, why you getting all loud? She was like, what you mad at me because you come fast or something? And Justice and Tupac was like, I mean,
this
Justice
is one of those scenes
Lucky
again where
like,
they can't talk, they just have to sit.
They was like, man, pull this up. I'm tired of this. So they get out.
And
he was like, let me talk to you.
And did she say something to him or like she's like, no, I'm breaking it?
She was like, get away from me, Chicago. I don't have time to talk to you. And he was like, man, how can my stuff be all beautiful and stuff and you gonna mess with? She's like, cause you weak. She said, cause you ain't a beautiful motherfucker. He said, that's a fucked up thing to say. She said, that's a real thing to say. And remember, he was like,
And then she said, I'm breaking up with you.
No, she was like, yeah, basically, I'm breaking up with you.
And I don't know what you were saying. He just stayed still for a minute.
No, he was like something. She was like, yeah, because you a weak ass punk. Nigga, dick can't stay hot for 2 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. She was like, what, you on steroids?
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that?
And
he was like, she was like, yeah, look at you brushing that weak ass fade. She was like, that's why I'm fucking somebody else. And then he stopped.
He just looks sad, he puts it up and
he put the brush in his back pocket and
smacks her.
He smacked her?
Mm-hmm. Backhanded.
Yeah, he smacked her.
Hate him.
And then she was like, oh,
dick.
Oh,
and go ahead, and he made her bleed.
He was like, go ahead, man, something. And I think she hit him again, then he smacked her.
Again?
I thought he
smacked her 3 times.
He smacked her twice. Yeah, but then Justice said, you ain't gonna do nothing?
And then
Lucky was like, man, that's their business. I ain't gonna do that.
Since some people say he should have got involved. I think, once in a while, I want him to get involved since one being's wrong. But then again, he is right. This was their business. I mean, if anything advanced further, I think like if he was trying to kill her or something, he would have gotten involved. But since I guess he said this is just a fight, he said he was gonna stay out of it, which I respect.
I mean, I guess he figured she said some stuff that I mean, it ain't like he just went when he stopped the truck, he just got out and just started beating on her. He was. I guess Lucky looking at it like Chicago was.
Hear the conversation?
Yeah, I think Lucky was looking at it like Chicago was trying to talk calmly, come to a resolution.
Understand.
Yeah, and she was just dismissive, and then abusive verbally. Now Chicago went too far with putting his hands on her. I mean. That would have been a long, tough ride, because I know Lucky wouldn't have left her because of Justice. So, I mean, that was
something else was probably gonna happen again.
I mean, that was a tough one.
And basically, but let me finish this. So Justice gets involved, right? Mm-hmm. And he basically, did he smack her, or did he push her?
Justice ran over there. I'm like, stop.
Kicked him in the ball.
Kicked him in the He
turned around her onto
and tackled her. Basically, was
and Lucky got mad at that point and started beating Chicago.
He ran over there, pushed him up.
Chicago was all big muscle and tall. Lucky dropped him.
Yeah.
Remember that?
They got in the truck.
And he basically sped off.
Yeah, left Chicago.
Oh my bad. They stopped him and dropped back and
they
just
kept it
moving. And then I'll keep talking for right now.
Cool.
It leads to another scene where he basically stops. You told me he was mad over Chicago thing. I just choose to believe you since I don't understand anything else he should be mad over.
No, he was upset because that was his friend. And it went to somewhere and he might have been in his head second guessing like, I shouldn't have left him. You know, that's your friend.
Anyway, but she
So
comes
you
over.
thought it was your friend anyway. Whatever.
But he's basically hurt by that. She comes over and she cleans his nails while she tells him what happened to her mom and grandma.
Yeah, how she got her name and all that. Because her mother was in law school.
When she was pregnant with her and named her Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother, what happened to the mom? Did she like get addicted to like alcohol or something?
I think she was either drugs and alcohol, or she was just alcoholic.
But and then eventually she committed suicide when she was like a young girl, and she lived with her grandma.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, her grandma died.
Yeah.
And left her the house.
Mm-hmm. And the cat.
And the cat.
Yeah, she lived in the house and a little cat. But yeah.
And this entire time, Lucky's just staying quiet and listening to the story. And then when she's done, he's like, "Damn, sorry that happened."
Yeah.
And basically, does he tell her anything, or did he just, look deeply in her eyes?
Yeah, whispered sweet nothings.
I mean, there probably wasn't sweet nothing.
It definitely was sweet nothings. I don't think.
Oh, so she didn't say nothing?
He might have rubbed her hand and just started kissing her.
I guess that's what she wanted.
Basically, hit her.
And they basically, like you said, have sex.
Yeah.
And then they arrive to Oakville.
Oakville.
Oh.
Man, said Oakville. Oakland, California, man. What's wrong with you? I apologize.
Oakland, California.
They're bad as a parent.
No.
Go ahead.
And basically, he stops at his cousin's house, right? Was the door open?
Yeah, because
he's looking like he's
you
not.
can see all that ambulance and police and stuff.
You see people just running past him. He's like, "What's happening?" And then horror. I can never understand how this feels. He has to run over and he sees his aunt.
Yeah.
And his cousin basically dead, and her crying, and he has to come and hug her and hold her back.
Yeah.
And the white cop, has the audacity to come over and ask, "Can I ask you some questions?"
Yeah.
And he basically is like, "Get away from me," and stuff. And he's like, "Cover him up."
Yeah.
And why is the what's those people called in the ambulance?
EMT.
Why is the EMT looks mad to just cover him up and like takes his time?
Yeah. They don't understand. I mean, they should. Everybody got a family, but
like, why do you look like you're physically like maddened that you're asked to do your job?
Yeah. That's a very sad scene.
And here leads to another scene that I feel like only went this way because that happened. So he drops them off at their hotel for their hair salon thing, right? I think he says some hurtful stuff to Justice, right? He's like, "If I wasn't fooling with you and waiting you and stuff, I would have made there in time."
Yeah.
I think he was just mad, and I think he didn't.
He was mad. His cousin.
And he didn't mean any of those things. He just was looking for something to blame.
Yeah, he was just.
And you can see that I think after he realized what he said, and then he just sped off.
Mm-hmm.
And Justice basically started crying. And Booty.
Yeah.
The great Booty. She's like, she said something, right? And she said it wasn't. No, that's when they get in the room. She's like, "Ooh, what happened?" Also, I think another thing that shows that what's the girl's name? Isha. Was cool, Lucky. You know, I don't think there was good friends, but you see, she sat and wanted to say something to him, but she doesn't, and she just walks off. Which I think shows that she sees him as like a friend, but they're not like close friends or something like that.
Yeah, like cool.
But I'm not about to let you come over here, hug him, and say some nice stuff. And when they get in the room, Louie's like, "So, some fling or something like that."
Yeah.
And she's like, "It was more than that, and you need to judge. You can't judge without knowing." She's like, "Oh."
I don't think she said it was more than that. She said, "You don't know what you're talking about, and you know when you assume, you make an ass out of you."
And Booty does that. Oh.
She said, "Oh, see, the problem is you little young girls don't know your booty from a hole in the wall."
And she basically gets her other people. She's like, "Come on, let's leave the young girls."
I mean, she said, "All I do is dress and rest. Cause love don't live here anymore."
I love it that when she's putting on her outfit,
putting her jacket on.
Oh, I'm getting the attention ready. She's like, "All right, let's go."
Yeah.
That's my one gripe with her.
Wow.
I don't know. It's just like I said, she was judging from not knowing the situation.
But she kind of did notice it. She said you was in love with her. She was like, "Nah, you don't know what you're talking about."
I do understand. I thought she was judging him like, "Oh, he was some gangster or something."
Nah. She said the other thing that, what you call him? Yeah, he put his hand. You should see what you supposed to do was wait till he went to sleep, and went in his wallet and took his credit card, and we all would have had a party on him. And she's like, credit card? That fool ain't got no. He ain't got no credit card. Then you was a fool. I said, what you call her, booty?
No, Miss Booty. I don't call her just. She's Miss Booty.
So what's your next scene?
My next scene is basically it's basically from here to the end. So I'll explain it all and go into some detail. So Lucky stayed over at his aunt's house, right?
Yeah.
And he's with the family, right? Before that, though, if he's in the night, right, and he's listening to his cousin, he hears a song he was making before Lucky.
Yeah.
And he couldn't handle it. He just started breaking down.
Started crying. Yeah.
Understandable. So next day he comes out and she's like, "How are you, baby? You know, you good?"
His aunt, yeah.
You can see the aunt is.
Yeah, that's her oldest child.
She's broken, basically, or shaken.
She's sick.
But she's trying to, you know.
Oh, of course, she gonna do what she can.
And
she still got her daughter.
And she's like, I know this might not be. He said, I know this might not be important to you. You might not even be thinking it, but I just like. He's like, I need to ask.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with his equipment? The daughter says, sell it. He's like, why don't you shut up, whatever your name is? Stay out of it. This is a.
He said he spent a lot of money on this. How you gonna fuck it up?
I bet. Did he say that? I thought he said he put every dollar he had into this.
Yeah. He spent all the money he had on this equipment. How y'all just gonna fuck it up?
And she said, no. She said that already. You're my favorite. No, my bad.
No, she said that first.
She said, you're my favorite nephew. What do you think we should do with it? He's like, give it to me. And let them argue. Let them complain. They just gave it to him. And another one of her poems reads, correct? And you see her at her hair competition.
Yeah, the hair show.
Did they win or something? I don't know. I just remember.
It looked like they was getting good reviews.
I think didn't champagne pop at like them parties?
Yeah, that must mean they did a good job.
And then you see him, setting up the equipment in his house.
Yeah, he got electrocuted and told Keisha, get out of there, Keisha.
And then I think that's.
Oh, we forgot about that scene when he went home and his mother, he was telling his mother that Keisha was moving with him. But go ahead, finish it.
I thought we described basically enough of it when we talking about Lucky, so. You mean like say us a little something?
No, go ahead, finish what you
And basically, I guess some weeks passed.
Yeah.
Or if not days.
Nah,
but
I figured weeks.
That's what I personally think. And he comes in the shop, right?
Week.
And Booty says something, right?
Cause she always was wearing that black.
But after
being with him, she had the brighter color. She had the blue jeans, the white sweater, the white little head wrap.
She put some color in there, saying that her life was. And Booty's like, oh, look at her. It's all right. And he shows up.
With Keisha.
And she's like, oh, who are you?
Oh, no, he said, can I talk to you? And she come over.
No, she sees him. You said she gave it away immediately with a smile.
Yeah, and then let you know she smiled at him, let him know it was cool. I know he probably felt
bad.
He probably felt a lot better. Like he could breathe a little bit. Like, okay, she ain't angry with me. At least.
And basically, he introduced the daughter, and she's like, "Oh, nice name and stuff." Yeah. And she's like, "What'd you do to her hair?" He's like, "Nothing. It looks great."
Yeah, she said, "Exactly, nothing."
And she's like, "Come on, baby, I'll do your hair."
But before that, he told her he's like it took me a long time to come down here. I made a big mistake, but we all make mistakes.
He basically apologized and said he wants her.
Yeah, because remember right before that the two girls got into an argument, and she's like, "Look at that nappy head hoe over there."
Talking about.
She said she ain't got human head, bitch. No, she said she got yak head in her head.
She's talking about
the lady. She's like, "Oh, you got something to say to me?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm James' woman. Don't be messing with my man." She said, "You can say what you want to say, bitch. But every time you kiss him, you eat my pussy." And that's when your girl Miss Booty said, "You gotta get out of here. You got to go." Yeah.
I think she was wrong for that one.
Yeah, really. But after that, that's when he talking to her and he's like, "Man, I apologize," and she was like what he said, like she said at the beginning, "Come here, hey baby, come here, let me whisper something to you." He said, "Get the fuck out of here." And she's like, "Nah, come here," and kissed her. And then the lady I'm talking about said, "I wouldn't have forgave him." And he's like, "Who cares? Mind your business."
Now I'll finish. And Booty and them was like, I would have went to a different guy. Nice.
Nah,
nice.
she was like, he's not my type, but he kind of cute. Nice nose.
And the other guy said, the other girl said,
she said the other guy. I mean, he said the other guy.
And the other girl, what did she say? Cute.
She said, kind of cute though.
And you can see her saying, Keisha, what you want? And Keisha's like, curls.
Yeah.
And she basically asked her about like what's happening, how school.
How school? What's her teacher name?
What she said? Her teacher name was
Miss Frazier.
Miss Frazier.
Yeah.
And that's basically the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Definitely.
Should see.
Yeah. So remember to hit that notification.
Like, comment, and subscribe. And comment down below the next movie review you want to see.
Yeah. Have a nice night.